Hey y'all, welcome back to another outfit design video. Today we're going to be tackling series 1 of Rainbow High. So I've done a few of these videos on my channel at this point, and I'm using a website called ShopLook. It's kind of like Polyvore if you are familiar with Polyvore, and I just take it and use the images on there to try to design outfits for different doll characters. And as I said, today we are going to be doing series 1 of Rainbow High. This has been a request from one of you guys, and I just haven't completely complied yet. I did Pacific Coast, but like this is the actual proper request, so I'm finally actually doing the video. I am really excited about these. It is going to be a little bit longer because I did 2 versions of looks for some characters, and the reason for that is that I do think that sometimes the characters don't have super consistent fashion. I actually did a video about this ages ago about how I think that Rainbow High has a really hard time being consistent with their character design. So for some characters I did have to do a couple instead of just one. You'll see more what I mean as we get into it, but as we go along the video, if you do find yourself enjoying, if you could give it a like, that is very helpful to me. And if you're new here, welcome. If you like what you see, maybe subscribe so you can see more. But with that, let's go ahead and get into the looks. I am going to go in rainbow order this time. Usually when I do these videos, I go least favorite to most favorite, but honestly, not to toot my own horn, but I do think that all of these are pretty good, and also just because it is like a rainbow series, I feel like it makes sense to go ahead and go in rainbow order. So we are going to be starting off with Ruby. So Ruby's description on the MGA Rainbow High website says that she is a trailblazer. She likes to create hype-worthy looks. She does have a fire motif that is semi-consistent throughout her different character designs, and she's supposed to be casual and trendy. So this is what I came up with for her. I did definitely lean into the edgy aesthetic a little bit more. I can't help it because I like that aesthetic, but I started off with these super cool red kind of cargo pants. I love the little like cutout at the hip. I think that that is just so fun. It makes it a little bit different. It makes it a little bit more trendy. Again, for Ruby, she's supposed to be a trendsetter, so like I thought it would be appropriate for her to have something that's a little bit different than just the regular cargo pants. And then for the top to go with it, I have this mesh top. I'm thinking the little cropped red tank top would go underneath that, because I also have a red chain necklace. I think this is just really fun. I love chains, so like part of that is just a bias. But I like the idea of the colored chain. It's a little bit different. And also, Ruby's color is red, so like I have to go with a lot of red for this design, obviously. I did go ahead and keep the flame motif in her shoes, just because, like I said, that is a fairly common motif in Ruby's designs, and so I wanted to kind of keep that going. She is also supposed to be someone who designs her own shoes, so like I thought having the fire in the shoe would be a very appropriate aspect. There's just some chunky boots, which I'm a sucker for. And then we have this super cool gradient beanie. I just love the way that this looks. I think it has the red, which is obviously Ruby's color, very important, but I like that it fades to the black. I think it just adds a little bit of interest to it. It's a little bit more fun. And then to tie the look together, I have this super shiny backpack. I feel like Ruby would be more of a backpack girly. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't watch the Rainbow High show. I probably should have opened up by saying that. But so I don't watch the Rainbow High show, so I'm not super in touch with their characters. I'm basically just going off of the dolls and the website. But yeah, I don't know. She just strikes me as maybe a little bit less stereotypically girly than some of the other characters that we're going to be getting to, so I thought that the backpack would be fun for her, and I love the shine. So that is going to be Ruby. And then Poppy is the first one that I have 2 outfits for, and that is because she has not a super consistent style. The first doll I think goes a little bit better with her character description, but even her character description I feel like is kind of lackluster compared to some of the other dolls. She is supposed to be fresh and cool. She does have the butterfly motif that we see a lot in her designs. She is meant to be a DJ, even though I feel like that's not ever emphasized in her dolls, and she does like to mix glam and streetwear. So I feel like the original Poppy doll, not a terrible representation of that style, but as time has gone on, in her junior high doll, I feel like that's a lot sweeter. Her winter break doll looked a lot cuter and just more like hyper feminine and leaned more into the soft butterfly aspect. And then especially her fashion runway outfit from the webisodes. Again, I don't watch the webisodes, but I know of that design. It's super, super feminine, leans into the butterfly. So I did do 2 different ones for Poppy because I wanted to do one for what she was supposed to be designed as, and then one for the direction that they seem to be going with this character. So the first one is trying to lean more into the DJ and the mix and match and streetwear vibes. So for this, I wanted to give her this cool ripped orange skirt. I did give her a few different colors of orange because she has a few different orange colors in her original doll, and also it's so hard to make a monochromatic look if you aren't varying the tones at all that doesn't look just super, super repetitive. So yeah, we have a couple of different tones here, but I liked the ripped denim skirt. I feel like the denim is just like a classic, but the orange makes it poppy and also more interesting, and then the rips are pretty cool. And then for a shirt, she is just wearing a vest. I feel like the silhouette this would give is very interesting because it is a puffer vest. I love the turtleneck aspect to the vest. It's a slightly different color of orange, and I get good vibes from it. I don't know how to explain why I thought it would go, but I did think that it would go. I have little fingerless gloves and also thigh highs that are both fishnets. I tend to lean into black in these designs. I do know that. Like, her color is supposed to be orange, but black is a great supporting color, and I love me some fishnets, and I feel like it gives a little bit more edge to this look, so I thought it would look really, really good. And then for shoes, these are the perfect shoes. Like, these are so perfect. I felt like sneakers would be better to kind of lean into the streetwear vibes that Poppy is supposed to have, but then the fact that these have butterflies and monarchs specifically embroidered on them, it's just so perfect. I thought it was amazing. I love it. I'm very, very happy with that. I gave her just a gold chain necklace. It is pretty chunky because I wanted to keep kind of the weight on top because I feel like that's just a little bit more interesting of a design point to have like a more bulky top and then like a slimmer bottom aspect. So I did do like a super chunky chain, but I feel like she could wear this on top of the puffer jacket, so it really accentuates that point where the turtleneck collar meets the rest of the vest. I just thought that would look awesome. And then we have another piece of orange, another slightly different orange, a transparent fanny pack. I feel like the texture difference would be really cool because since it is all the same color, I wanted to try to incorporate some different textures in there to add interest to the look. And the fact that it's transparent, first of all, I'm a sucker for anything transparent on clothing. I don't know why, but like my brain just loves it so much. And I thought it would be interesting and unique for Poppy. Like, it's not the most common material that you see clothing made out of, so for Poppy to be kind of streetwear, kind of on the trends, kind of doing new stuff, I thought that that would be pretty appropriate for her. And then I had to give her headphones because I think it is a travesty that she is supposed to be a DJ character. Like, her love is music and like she likes to do stuff with music, and they didn't give her headphones. They've never given her headphones in a doll. So I gave her headphones this time, obviously orange to match her theme, but I just thought that would be cute, and I feel like it really ties everything together. I like this one a lot. Then, as you can see, the Sweeter Poppy design is very different, but again, I feel like MGA and Rainbow High have not been consistent with Poppy. She is one of the most inconsistent characters to me, so this is why I had to do 2 separate looks, because I feel like this fits closer with like what Junior High Poppy wears, even with Winter Break Poppy, and definitely closer to the runway outfit that Poppy has. None of those outfits scream streetwear or DJ or anything like that to me, so they all seem very soft. So this is Poppy's soft look. I thought this dress was very cute. It's like the perfect color of orange. I like that it had the cutouts along the front so that it's at least a little bit more interesting, a little bit less sweet, ties into the idea of what Poppy's character is supposed to be a little bit better. But it is obviously still a very, very sweet dress with the silhouette and the puff sleeves. And like the little ties, the bows on the front, I think are very cute. I did give her the butterfly strappy sandals because I obviously had to lean into butterflies for this version of Poppy specifically. The sweeter, more girly Poppy had to have the butterfly sandals, and they're also just very cute. Like, I'm not trying to diss the fact that Poppy has a sweeter design in a lot of her dolls because I do think it's really pretty. I dislike that it's inconsistent, and I dislike that they seem to be having trouble with keeping their characters, like, within a style. But I don't dislike the style. Then we have a couple of dainty pieces of gold jewelry, a little very dainty chain bracelet, and then, of course, a butterfly necklace. Slightly less dainty is the hair clip. If you guys have been watching for a while, you may have seen a couple of videos of mine where I actually wear these butterfly hair clips. They're really cool because the way that they're mounted, they like move when you move. There's little springs on them. Obviously, butterflies, perfect for Poppy, and I thought that this would be super cute. It's like, it's just so dainty and so fun and whimsical. I had to include it. Obviously, I'm biased towards these hair clips because I own them, but I thought that that was super, super fun. Then we have a little orange bag. It is fairly small. It's also a very similar orange to the dress. I'm imagining it like a little bit darker so that it stands out a little bit more, but I was really leaning into gold and I needed to get some more orange aspects in there. And then the last piece is also an orange aspect. It's a little claw clip. I feel like Poppy would look so cute with her hair pulled up with a claw clip, especially like this sweeter version of Poppy. I think that that would be really adorable. If it's like the darker orange, it would be a little bit of contrast against her lighter orange hair, ties in more of the orange, and overall I just think that this would be a very cute look. I think this is really solid. Okay, on to Sunny, who only has one look. I had so much fun with this, although I would say that she still needs more accessories. Sunny is meant to be inspired by certain Japanese styles of fashion. In her description, she is described as kawaii specifically. She's obsessed with all things adorable. She likes quirky stuff and cute stuff. And I love that for her. It's very different than a lot of other aesthetics we see in Rainbow High, and I really appreciate that because some of them can kind of blend together. But Sunny just stands out, and I am obsessed with that for her. So I started out with this sweater. I thought this was so cute. The mix of prints I think is perfect because I feel like Sunny needs to be over-designed, right? For her inspiration, she needs just so much, so many prints, so many layers, so many accessories. So I thought that this was a great starting point because I feel like it's just so unique and interesting. It also looks soft and delicate and fun and whimsical. Just beautiful. I did pair it with a little bit more basic, just yellow denim short shorts. That is because we are going to add things on, as you can see in this image. I did give her 2 pairs of socks. Also, I'm sorry that everything is really small in this image, but I had to cram so much in, right? So I gave her kind of knee-high white socks with just yellow bands at the top, and then much shorter bright yellow socks to kind of layer so that she's got that layering happening, a lot of different textures and a lot of different points of interest there. Then we have some super chunky pastel yellow sneakers. I thought these were very cute. I don't think that they're that far off from Sunny's normal sneakers, except that they just have white on the bottom instead of the rainbow on the bottom, and I feel like with both of the socks that would look super, super precious. In the top corner here, we have a little, it's a strawberry, but it's yellow. This was so cute, the bag. Oh my god. So precious. It's transparent plastic, so you know I'm a sucker for that. But it's just so cute, and it seems so perfect for Sunny. Like the fact that it's a yellow strawberry. I can't even believe that I found that. It's so perfect. So obviously I had to go with that. And then I'm just going to go kind of left to right with the accessories because I know there are so many. The top one here is like a little bracelet and ring set that's like beaded. I thought that was really, really cute. It's so precious. I love the colors. There is a little bit of pink in there with the yellow. It was very hard to find anything that was just yellow, and also with the amount of accessories that Sunny has, I feel like she could have a few pops of other colors and it will be okay. But I thought that was really cute. The beaded ring is definitely not something you see all the time, and I think it would fit so well with Sunny's aesthetic. I have several barrettes. We have just regular, like plain yellow barrettes. We've got a couple of stars that have like the pink accent to them, and my personal favorite, these clear ones, I don't think it's showing up super clearly on the image, but they're actually filled with little lemon slices, like little fake lemon slices. So cute. Oh my god, that is so precious. That would look so cute on Sunny with like her bangs covered in all of these different barrettes. Oh my god, she'd be so precious. I love this. Oh, I actually forgot. Okay, the little pom-poms here, I forgot because they are earrings. Like technically they are earrings, but I imagine her like tying them to her shoes, so she's got like pom-poms on either side of her shoes. So yeah, those aren't actually earrings, at least in my world. Those are little shoe accessories, because I just feel like that'd be so cute. Every time she walks, they bounce up and down. Amazing. I love it. For actual earrings, I gave her little lemon slice earrings, and then I have 4 necklaces for her to layer. I don't really know what order they would be layered in, but there's a rainbow, a pink flower to kind of tie in a little bit more of that pink that ended up kind of being her secondary color, a banana because we have a lot of fruit going on, and at this point, why not? It's adorable, it's fun, it's different. And then lastly, a little pearl necklace with a bow on the front. Lots of accessories, lots of different elements, and I feel like Sunny is the only doll that I can get away with really just throwing everything at her and it will make sense. I feel like this would be so cute. I feel like Sunny would just be so sunny in this. Like, she'd just be so excitable and light and bubbly. I feel like this is perfect for her. Okay, next up is Jade, and I have complained about Jade a few times on this channel because her original design is very obviously of the time Billie Eilish. I know that Billie Eilish's style has kind of evolved from this, but in 2020, when Jade Hunter first came out, this was a very Billie Eilish look, and that was kind of all she had to her. Her blurb on the Rainbow High website doesn't make necessarily the most sense. I complain about this a lot because it's very pick me, I'm not like the other girls, which I just think is so gross and stupid. It says that she does like stuff that is more loose, a little bit dramatic, but very comfortable, kind of more androgynous, and then she's supposed to be sporty and edgy. So again, original design, extremely, extremely Billie Eilish, but in other Jade iterations, her winter break outfit, aside from like the snowsuit situation, but her second outfit in winter break is a lot more alternative to me, a little bit edgier in like a chains and combat boots kind of sense, and also more stereotypically girly. Like, it's a little bit less androgynous. And then also her fashion show look is also more alternative, a little bit more punk, a little bit less androgynous. So I also gave Jade 2 looks because I just feel like she has the one look that is Billie Eilish, kind of like ambiguous as far as what gender the clothing might lean towards. I do know that there is not actually a gender in clothing. Anytime that I mention that in these videos, I always try to say, like, it is just the stereotype or like the traditional aspect that I'm looking at. I know that like anybody can wear anything, but I have to have some way to describe it. But yeah, I feel like one of her designs is more androgynous clothing, more sporty clothing, more just like super loose and baggy and comfortable. And then the other one is she's wearing stuff that's tighter and more form-fitting and more like deeply alternative and a little bit girlier. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not even trying to say that someone can't like both of those styles. This is the argument that I made in the video I keep referencing. It's not that a real person can't enjoy both those styles and like wear both of those styles. It's that on a doll who is supposed to be representative of a specific style, mixing them kind of blurs the lines. Like, it makes it harder for her to have a concrete style and a concrete character. So Jade has 2 outfits. That was a very long way of me saying that Jade has 2 outfits. So this first one is leaning more into that loose and androgynous aspect. I gave her these super cool shorts. They are black. There's a lot of black in Jade's designs. Sorry. But I thought that these were so fun, like the loose kind of gym short almost look to them, but the green straps hanging down is super different. It adds a little bit of spice to it to where it's not just, here's some black gym shorts. I thought that that was really, really fun. I love these shoes. Oh my god, I'm so beyond obsessed with these shoes. They're so cool. The platforms are so fun. The color is great for Jade. They're so weird and different. I love it. I think that these are super cool. I did give her a hoodie. Not much to say about that, if I'm being real with you. It's kind of just a hoodie. I'm sorry. Much like Ruby, she did get a big, thick chain necklace. This one is black. Again, I know I went a lot of black with Jade's outfit, sorry. And then the little holster on top is meant to be like a thigh strap, and it has a little pocket for a phone, because I can't imagine this version of Jade really wanting to have a purse. I could have done a backpack, but I thought that this was just more interesting and more fun, and the idea of it kind of poking out from underneath her shorts so she can just like grab her phone, I think is very interesting, and I wanted to add something a bit unique to this outfit because I feel like this is fairly similar to what her doll comes in, and I do know that. I feel like, at least with the color and the constraints of the ShopLook website, it was really hard for me to come up with something that fit this same silhouette that wasn't exactly what Shady comes with. So I wanted to add the holster because I thought it was just something more interesting. And then we also have a green beanie and these little fingerless black gloves. I don't know how to explain my thought process, but I just feel like Jade would wear that if she was in like the more Billie Eilish-esque outfit. Now, second alternative outfit, I kind of had more fun with just because this is a style that I like a little bit more. So we gave her a green plaid skirt. kind of like the one that she wears with winter break. It's a different color, different cut, but like the plaid skirt, I wanted to kind of tie that in. To go on top, we have this green mesh crop top, like not mesh across the bust, but mesh otherwise. And then on top of that, we are layering this super fun chain and leather harness. I just think it's very interesting. It's very cool. It reminds me of like the accessories that she had in her hair in the runway episode. So I feel like that was very appropriate. I did give her high-heeled boots because, again, I feel like this version of Jade is a little bit more stereotypically feminine, and I felt like they just matched a lot better with the outfit than like the flat foot boots. They have the chains going on there, so it makes perfect sense. I gave her these super cool, ripped up and torn and like full of holes tights. Obviously very intentional so they don't like fall apart, but it looks messy. And I think that that would layer really well with the other pieces that she's got going on here. The little cuff that's underneath her shirt is meant to be a bracelet stack for her to wear. Then on top of the harness is like another cuff. That is actually supposed to be like a ponytail cuff. So she could have her hair up in either like a half pony or a full pony and have a little band of metal kind of going across that. I didn't want to go like full intense hair decorations like the runway episode because I didn't want it to be too derivative of that moment, but I wanted to give kind of like a little nod to it with something in her hair. Then we have lightning bolt earrings, again kind of referencing the lightning bolt dress from the runway episode without being too literal. I was trying to like not just give her that same outfit, right? But like it's a really cool outfit, so I wanted to do something for it. And then to tie it all together, again referencing the lightning. This bag I thought was just so perfect. The lightning bolts, the lightning strikes, and then it's also black and green. This is literally perfect for Jade. Like, it's so good. I was so excited to find that one. I know, again, this is a lot of black and she is supposed to be a green doll, but like, this looks good to me. I don't know. I thought that it was very cute, so I'm standing by it, even though it is a little bit more black than maybe it should be. Okay, we are nearing the end. I'm sorry for this being such a long one, but like, sometimes I just had to do 2 outfits. Skyler, her style is a little bit easier, if in my opinion, just a little bit more boring. It's denim. That's like her main thing, is that she loves denim. She likes more classic looks, and she has kind of a sweeter look. So I do feel like it was a little bit easier to think of something for her. On the flip side though, it was harder to not do something that's super similar to what she already has because it's just denim. So I started with this denim halter top. I thought that this was really fun. There's like a zipper in the back. It's like feminine, it's cute. It's a little bit different, you know, when you think of denim, I feel like this isn't the first thing to pop into your head. So I thought that that was good so that it's the classic material, but like with a little bit of a spin on it. And then for the jeans, again, I didn't want like just a perfectly plain pair of jeans because I thought that that would be even too boring for Skyler's kind of more classic look. So I went with this split jean where it's light on one side and dark on the other. I think that it's very cool visually, and again, it gives just like a little bit of interest to this. I did give her a bucket hat, personally, not a bucket hat fan, but I kind of feel like Skyler could pull it off. She's got really, really beautiful hair. The winter break Skyler's hair, oh my god, so pretty. I feel like that would look so stunning coming out from under a bucket hat. And then we're finally done with the denim after that. Like, that's all the denim. So I gave her these strappy, like, platform heel shoes. I thought that these were super fun. They're a great color to go with all of the denim without being denim shoes. Like, I wasn't gonna go that far. Like, I wasn't gonna give her denim shoes also. I just think these are really cute. I feel like they're a little bit more practical because of how chunky they are. They're not like stilettos, so I feel like Skyler would appreciate that. But they're still very fashionable. And then I love this bag. The print is just so pretty. It's kind of like a water marbled print. So beautiful. The colors are perfect. It's a little bit more exciting than everything else in this outfit, so I thought that Skyler needed something like a little bit more exciting, and the bag is definitely it. And then for accessories, she has got a stack of little silver bangles, and I also did give her silver hoops. I don't know why Skyler strikes me as like a hoop girly, but I feel like she would rock hoop earrings so well. And again, these are like not just plain generic hoop earrings. They have a little bit of design to them to kind of give it a classic look, but a little extra oomph. This isn't necessarily my favorite because I think that it is a little bit more simple than I might like to go with designs, but I do think it's very solid in terms of it being very appropriate for Skyler, so I like it a lot in that aspect. And then lastly, we have Violet. Now, Violet is supposed to be a diva. She likes glamour, luxe, she likes drama. Like, she wants to look expensive and different and dramatic, and it says that she likes different fabric textures. So that was very exciting for me. I think that a lot of Violet dolls are honestly way too plain for that, like, style inspiration. I feel like a lot of her stuff is just super basic, and that's not necessarily what she needs. So we went the complete opposite of basic with this, and I think this is really good. This might be my favorite one, which is so funny because I feel like out of the original lineup of dolls, Violet might be my least favorite, but this is really solid. So starting with the dress, I saw this and immediately stopped scrolling. I was like, this is the dress for Violet. This is so perfect. I love the deep, dramatic V-neck because, again, Violet loves some drama. This is perfect for her. And then the sheer amount of texture on this I thought was so beautiful. The silhouette is like kind of classic, kind of basic, but the texture is just so beautiful. The layers to the ruffles, the fact that all of the ruffles are kind of like, I don't know what the proper term is. I don't think it's pleats. It might be pleats. But they're kind of pleated to give even more texture to it. Absolutely phenomenal. I love it. Then the shoes, we went with heels because Violet is glamorous all the way. So I feel like the stiletto heels are much more appropriate for her. The gemstones on top, the ribbons around the ankle. Like, it's all very, very extra. And that's what Violet is. Like, this is what, to me, she deserved. I did do this little necklace because with the very deep V, I thought it would be good to fill in some of that space. And I feel like it matches the gemstones on her shoes perfectly. So it's just beautiful. Like, the tie-in is so, so good. I gave her a feather bag because, again, Violet likes texture. What could possibly be more textured than a feather bag? It's so cool. It's so different. I feel like on another character it might be too much, but Violet is supposed to be kind of the queen of too much and like making it glamorous. At least that's what I get from her. So I feel like this was a really fun addition. I feel like it would have really cool movement. Like, even a slight breeze would make this thing just flutter. Amazing. Violet would be obsessed with that. Then I did give her these gloves, which I feel like is kind of a bold choice of me, but bold. Violet. Perfect. They were a great color. They are sheer with like a little kind of polka dot pattern to them. I feel like the pattern would be very interesting. I feel like Violet would be like, yeah, I'm rocking gloves. Obviously, everybody else should be, but you're kind of behind the times. I'm cooler than you. I don't know. That's just the vibe that I get from her. And I feel like these gloves, again, perfect color, perfect look for her to me. And then I do have this little crown next to it. That's actually a ring. So I'm feeling like she would wear that on top of her glove. That would just look so cool. Like, Violet definitely thinks she is a queen. So the ring is very appropriate to me. Then we have a little gold bracelet that would also go on top of the gloves. I think like a ring on one hand, bracelet on the other hand to kind of balance it out with the gold. And then lastly, I did give her a slightly more simple, just gold headband. She does have a lot going on with pretty much every aspect of this design, so I did want it to be a little bit more basic, but I felt like the design would be kind of incomplete without a head accessory as well, because I just feel like Violet would want a lot going on every part of her body, so I thought that that would kind of bring a little bit of interest to the head. And we do have a lot of purple and gold happening, so with her purple hair, I thought that the like dual band gold headband would also look super cute. This really might be my favorite. I feel like this is so solid. Like, Violet is not necessarily my favorite character or my favorite doll or anything, but I just think I did a really good job of interpreting what her style is supposed to be. So yeah, guys, that is going to be all of the outfits to design today. Sorry if this was a bit of a longer one. I told myself before filming that I was going to talk less so that even though we had extra outfits to go through, it wouldn't be super long, and I don't think I succeeded. Only editing will tell. But sorry if this was kind of a long one. I do hope you guys were able to enjoy regardless. Definitely let me know what you thought of the outfit designs in the comments down below. Which is your favorite? Which is your least favorite? How you would design outfits for these characters? I would just love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys!